All right. Some of y'all already know how this go. Walking my black ass to work, so of course I ain't gotta go to work. I just gotta go pick up my extra moolah because the pandemic got us some extra pay every Monday, so it gives me an opportunity to do that. So I could have just did this in the backyard by the pool. I think that would have been cool. Maybe I'll do the next video back there because I got one more day off. But I did say in the next 3 days I was gonna be doing this, even though technically it's the fourth day I'm here. So what are we talking about in this video? We are talking about how the LGBT community, the AAIP, the hashtag AAIP community, and modern day feminism are all being used as anti-black groups. And I have been gathering my thoughts on this. Hold on. I've been gathering my thoughts on this video, man. Because anytime I get ready to make a video as serious as this, I always just, I take a couple days to meditate on it. So I give myself, 2 days to gather my thoughts, pray on it, and hope that the message gets received the way it's supposed to get received, and nobody takes it as something out of malice rather than something that holds merit. Because for a long time, I feel like, well, the LGBT community and modern day feminism, that mindset, not so much the AAIP, they only been around this year. For a long time, I felt like the first two really been getting away with a lot of nonsense, and nobody tried to call them out on it, because you got to understand something. A lot of people have businesses and money-making opportunities that, people worked hard to build up. And those businesses and those opportunities might literally be their one and only break into providing a proper living the way they want to provide for their families or whatever, right? So since that's the case, and they only got one shot to do this, they don't want to mess that up in any facet. So even if they feel like they gotta be quiet on certain things that they shouldn't be quiet on, or they do something that that seems how you doing, bro? No, but if they do something that seems a little bit trivial or controversial, where normally they wouldn't give a damn and say, you know what, I still got to say this regardless, out of principle and out of the fact that it needs to be said, they get paid that hush money. And that's when you know where your principles really stand. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you going to speak on truth regardless of the money that they flash in your face and the opportunities they flash in your face? Because obviously they want you to hush up for something. They want you to be quiet for something. And that's what that cancel culture is. It's very cancerous. And I mean that in every single fucking word. Cancel culture has taken over the modern mind in such an epidemic fashion that it's, at this point, it's just a mob mentality. It's just a mob mentality, and monkey see, monkey do. That's all it is. Nobody's doing any critical thinking about what the hell these groups represent or what's really going on. So, and I know saying what's really going on is a cliche, but hear me out. All right, so let's say, now again, I feel like all three of these groups are being used as anti-black groups. They may not be anti-black groups themselves, which I doubt, but you know, they're being used as anti-black groups, undebatably. Undebatably. So let's say you got, all right, but let's put it like this. Let's say you're at work, right? You've been working at this company for a number of years, right? You've been working at this company a number of years. And you know, every so often you're due for a raise, right? Now you're seeing people who've been working there that haven't been there as long as you getting raises, getting company bonuses and things like that, and you know you bust your ass longer and harder than any of them there because they ain't been there as long as you. But regardless, you know, the boss, he knows you deserve it, but he won't give it to you. He knows that you've been worked hard for it, but he still won't give it to you. So instead of giving it to you, the person who probably deserves it the most, since you've been there the longest, you've done the most work, the one who's been there longer should be, you know, the top priority. That's how it should go. But instead, they give the bonuses and the raises to the new guy that just came there a couple months ago. A guy that's been there, like, you've been there for like 2 years. The guy that's been there for 6 months gets a bonus and a raise. The other guy who's been there for only 1 year in comparison to your 2 years gets a bonus and a raise. Then when you ask, well, you know, I've been working at this company for two years. I've been breaking my back. I came in and worked nonstop. You know what I'm saying? Never asked no questions. Whatever you needed to get done, I did. So where's my bonus and a raise? You know what I'm saying? And he ain't got nothing to say to you, or he makes it passive and keeps telling you that it's coming, oh, it's coming, but it never does, and you get tired of that shit. You know what I mean? Again, you know you deserve a raise, and they should give it to you, but they're not giving it to you. They give it to everybody else. This is exactly how I feel about the AARP, the LGBT community, and modern day feminism, because they have given attention to the other three groups more so than they've given to black folks who've been dealing with the bullshit since they were forced over here on those Amistad boats. I mean, forced, whipped, lynched, raped, maimed. I mean, dude, you can name it. And while these other groups are part of these how can I put it? They're part of these like proxy cultures. The whole time they're getting from the United States something that America should have been gave to us. They're just sitting there like, it's almost like they're dangling everything that they should be giving us to these other groups. Think about it, right? How long has black people been in the United States forcefully? I mean, we could take it back to slave days, what, like the 1700s? You know what I'm saying? It could be farther than that, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do my recent research. I kind of just woke up, started walking. So forgive me if my mind is kind of bled. But regardless, it's been a long ass time. It's been centuries, right? And not only that, the gates of opportunities haven't been given to us in the same facet as our counterparts. You know, because right now gay people are everywhere. They're in Hollywood. Now, granted, they've been there, but now that, you know, I guess you could say like it's more in the open now more than ever. You have companies trying to pander to them, so they're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm from the 90s. Some of y'all don't remember. It was a time when gay people wasn't getting certain jobs and shit like that. They was literally getting, you know what I'm saying, dealt with. And, you know, in a way, I'm glad that changed, because nobody should have to get beat up for just something like that. That's just nitpicking and being bullshit. But again, we're talking about people who ain't been around as long as us. As a community, they ain't been around as long as us. They haven't. And when you think that the one person that would have gave us those laws when nobody else did, the one black president, he didn't give us shit in comparison to what he did for them. Like I said, there has not been not one police reform, not one, not one, not one law written on our behalf, and the gay community got 3 of them. Let me cross the street. So yeah, it's crazy to me how people can openly defend that bullshit. I mean, it's nice that, you know, any community that felt like they're being discriminated against get some laws to protect them. But at the same time, as long as black folks have been here, we ain't got shit. But then it goes right back to what I mean by the rewards that should have been given to certain people who's been here longer get dangled in front of a different group. It gets dangled from a different group, and the group that should have got these rewards or these things gets teased, with the other group getting used as a catalyst for that. And it's just bullshit, because there's no way that black folks have to sit here and beg for hundreds and hundreds of years to get treated like human beings, and we don't get not one law passed for police reform. We don't get one law passed for for anything that we've been going through, from racial discrimination, being hired at certain places. They literally gave the gay community 3 damn laws. They allowed them to get married any fucking way they want to underneath the Obama administration. It happened when he was there. Y'all can say the Supreme Court did it, but it happened when Obama was in office, right? So gay people got the right to marry any way they want to without discrimination. That's protection. They got don't ask, don't tell removed from the military. You know what I'm saying? That is protection. They even got fucking transgender law bathrooms. They got a whole fucking bathroom gender ideology confusion, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They got that. They literally got 3 different changes because of this shit. You know what I mean? And this is what I mean, like, we haven't gotten anything, bro. Anything. Even though there's been talks of police reform, ain't no guarantee they're gonna do that shit. You know what I mean? Damn near all the black people will be dead in America before they do that shit. Because you can't stop nobody from thinking a certain way, regardless of what you say. It's people who walk around with them prejudices in their heart, so because they were raised to believe that shit. And so when you mature somebody in a fucked up way of thinking, they're going to find every excuse to remain that, because that's the way of living that they hold near and dear to their heart, even though it's the wrong way to live. Not even by today's standards. It's just the wrong way to live, period. Y'all know the vibes. I chill right here for a bit as I do these videos. But yeah, it's a sad thing. Check this out. Now, I've been here doing these videos for a minute. You see that? They just put that shit up. That was not up there. Ain't that a bitch? But I mean, I can just tell them that I'm fucking here trying to cool off. But yeah, it's a sad situation when you see that type of shit happening and you can't, it's like you feel helpless unless you wreck some shit to get their attention. And you've been deserving this for like decades, for decades and centuries, and they still haven't given you that respect or that love or that gift or that reward that they should have been gave you. So now we at a point where it's people who who came way after them. Well, I wouldn't say way after them. It was probably around the same time. But I know they haven't been around, as far as the modern day community, hasn't been around as long as the LGBT community, so I can say that. So you have people in the modern day feminism community who literally disguise their bullshit as wanting equality, but in reality, it's just them wanting supremacy and not knowing the shit that has to be dealt with. It's like they're, again, like in the past videos I said, this is women asking for things that they want, not realizing what they have to do to maintain it. So what happens is they get what they asked for, and then when they finally get what they asked for, they don't know how to deal with it no more. Like, they don't know how to, the work that has to get put in order to maintain that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want it no more after that. So they're asking for things that they can't handle. And for the longest, the Me Too movement has been a part of that new age feminism mentality, to where they've gotten a bunch of innocent people locked up and not an apology in sight. Because for a long time, it's been promoted more, not that it happens more, it's been promoted more that women, were getting raped by men and things like that. But there was this biased mentality and this double standard mentality that permeated the culture and society because of modern day feminism, that always believe the woman's always right. And you have women that take that opportunity to lie like a motherfucker. And let me say this again. I never liked Black Lives Matter as an organization, as a message. I love it. But as a business, I never supported it. I never bought a t-shirt. I never bought a face mask. I never bought nothing that has to do with BLM. Now, this is a black dude telling you this. I'm talking about straight, as black as America wants to label me, I guess. Look at me. Like, I can't hide this shit. I ain't gonna get no fucking tan. I was born literally a black man. Literally. Not ideology, but literally, physically. I've been born. I'm a melanated man down to the fucking bone. But I noticed certain shit that a lot of people aren't giving its proper credit to. And I just find it funny how at a time when this group is supposed to be, helping black folks and supposedly helping black folks, helping innocent people that's been locked up because of the fucked up system that we've been living under for decades upon decades upon decades, it's been so devastating to notice something that nobody else even cares to even bat an eyelash at. So you have people who, they come into society. They put this whole believe the woman mentality nonstop, and it's a lot of people out there that got locked up for lies. There's people in jail right now because a woman lied on a man. It's a man in jail right now that's serving like 30 to 40 years because a woman lied on him. Black Lives Matter has done nothing for them people as an organization. They haven't. You know who's been helping? That organization has done nothing but organize protests and rallies here and there. And essentially those rallies and those protests basically did nothing. They might have did a little something here and there, when I do mean a little something, as far as bringing attention to certain situations, but they themselves have not put no programs together or nothing of any significance that really helps black folks. All they did was sell t-shirts. And the CEO, the woman, I can't remember her name. I never bothered to know her name, to be honest with you, because I never paid attention to the organization or cared about it like that. But the woman who was the CEO of that whole Black Lives Matter shit, once she got caught with her hands in a cookie jar, after all them donations, she took her little piece of that pie, went and bought her a multi-million-dollar house, quit as a CEO of fucking BLM, and ended up, you know what I'm saying, getting a movie and a book deal. I don't know exactly what the movie and book deals pertain to, or like how extensive it goes, but she ended up getting movie and book deals literally. You know what I'm saying? She basically used the pain that black folks was going through and profited off of it. I forgot the terminology that they use. I think it's called like pastor pimping or something like that, where they try to tap into your emotions to profit off of you when it doesn't benefit you at all. She did that. So on the surface, yeah, the people might look at it and be like, oh, this is great. But in actuality, bro, it's not even a group that even fucks with us. You know what I'm saying? It's not. The image of it is good, but the reality of it, that it hasn't helped us at all. And that's all a part of that whole, and as far as, groups that have actually helped, you know what I'm saying, black folks, you have nonprofit groups out there like Grassroots Law. Grassroots Law did more, organized, protests and rallies just like BLM did. But they went a step further and got lawyers hired and got people, out of jail. You got nonprofit organizations like the Innocence Project. One of their more famous cases was a guy by the name of David Banks. He was an NFL prospect who ended up getting his career snatched from him because he had consensual sex with this girl on the college campus. I can't remember exactly where it was, but that's irrelevant. But basically how it went was, they had consensual sex, and they were getting caught. And so to save her ass, she lied and said that because I think they're both going to get expelled or something, or, they was going to receive some punishment for doing that type of thing on campus. But, when they were going to get caught, she basically lied on him and blamed the school for not having security guards active when they were supposed to around that area. So she said that he raped him, that he had raped her, and she ended up suing the school for $2 million. And when she got that money, she literally disappeared off the fucking planet. She literally disappeared. And the dude ended up, he was facing a lot of serious time. And because of that, he ended up, I think he ended up copping out to like a 10-year plea deal. It was like a 10-year plea deal, because that was looking better than the regular time he was facing, because that's what they do. When they get you in there, them plea deals are nothing but a negotiation. They know you ain't did it, but because they understand it's a sympathy thing going into that, the jury's going to take sympathy on the girl, and they just going to believe her off of that strength. And on top of that, you're a black man, so they think you're the biggest, scariest thing in the fucking world because of the way media promotes you. It's really, um, it's really, you know, it's fucked up. You sat there and this man had give 10 years of his life over you lying. And to prove that she had lied, she literally went to go see, I don't know if it was his lawyer or her lawyer, but when she came in there, she had got secretly recorded. And basically she had confessed to the lawyer like it didn't really happen, you know. And then on top of that, she messaged him through Facebook, I think like a few years after he got out, again thanks to the Innocence Project, and they proved his innocence. He didn't spend like the whole 10 years in prison. I think he only did like a small amount of that time. But any amount of time, any amount of years taken off your life because of a lie is devastating. But she basically, no, I think he did serve those like nearly almost the whole 10 years. I believe so. But yeah, he got fucked over. He got fucked over bad. And the fact that he lost his prime years to, he was going to play for the Falcons. He had a contract with the Falcons lined up, you know what I'm saying? And he couldn't even play because this bitch lied on him. Got her money off of that lie, and then ran the fuck off. This is what I'm saying, that modern day feminism, that whole Me Too movement shit, nobody's checking to see if these females are actually telling the truth. They just believe in them and going off a whim. And since you can't really control how people think, regardless of what you say, it's people who go out their way to pretty much make sure that, it's people that pretty much go out their way to make sure that regardless of what if you're guilty or not, the accusation stays. You know what I'm saying? So they deal with that. So again, she ended up messaging the dude through Facebook, I think like a while after he was out of prison, and she talking about she want to come clean. But when he asked her to come forward and do it in person, she said she didn't want to do it, and I quote, because she didn't want to, she thought she was going to have to pay the money back, which she would have. You know what I mean? Because you lied in court, got paid a settlement from that lie, and it was all based on the fact that these things happened to you. If it didn't really happen to you, you don't deserve that reward money, and you have to pay it back. You have to pay it back. I forgot the technical term for it, but basically that's what it is. So when I apologize for that so much. But yeah, when you have people who really deal with that nonsense, when you have people that got to deal with that, it's fucked up. And since they've been giving so much attention to this Me Too movement and all that, again, they're putting these laws in place. Do you know it's easier for a woman to get a restraining order on a man than it is for a man to get a restraining order on a woman? It's virtually impossible. Like a man can get like a temporary restraining order on a woman, but it's hard for him to get a permanent one because they'll never view the woman as a threat to the man. That's some fucked up shit, man. A woman can get a permanent restraining order on a man easy as hell. I had to look that shit up. I wanted to see certain things, if that double standard really, takes place in like the legal world. And it does, man. When it comes to kids, and that's that modern day feminism effect, man. It's fucked up. And then we got to get to the AAIP. Black folks been getting their ass whipped non-fucking stop. I'm talking about killed by police, killed by us, just unfair discrimination that keeps us underneath the poverty line. It's just fucked up. And one Asian dude, one Chinese dude get his ass whipped in America, and boom, all of a sudden it's a new thing. So they just push us to the fucking side and be like, fuck that. And the reason why I brought these points up is because I know this might cut off and go to another video too, because that's what happened last time when this thing reached 30 minutes. But it's people who know for a fact that black folks aren't getting treated the way they should be. So what happens is you have people who know that this is happening, but they don't side with us, they don't partner with us. They say it by word of mouth, but they don't do it with their actions. You know what I'm saying? It's really fucked up. So anytime somebody tries to, it's like they want their own, basically, here's what it boils down to. For the longest time, we've always been able to throw racism in the face of the people that were in positions of power that didn't like us. And it would be true, but they got tired of that. So I feel like, and this is just a theory, I feel like they were planning to use the gay community, the modern day feminism, to kind of overshadow black folks and all that. It's to the point where you can't even say faggot, but you can say nigga all willy-nilly, no matter who the fuck you are, and you'll get little to no punishment for it by these companies. You can say it on YouTube, you can say it on all that. And again, you know what I mean? Going right back to what I mentioned earlier, it's just a wow factor. It's like you can drop, it's like you can't even say faggot no more. Like you gotta say F-bomb. Just like how you used to say N-bomb. You know what I mean? See how when it's fucked up like that, bro. And it's sad that this is what we deal with. Like I'm just at that point where I really don't want to deal with this type of bullshit, because I feel like everybody should be able to live comfortably and in peace, but we need to start calling out the bullshit. And one more thing while I'm at it, man. We need to stop saying love is love. No shit. Love is love. Let me give you an interesting perspective to look at this. There's love and then there's hate, right? When you look at the basic foundations of those two emotions, right? What do you have to do before you love somebody? What do you have to do before you hate somebody? And let me get this out the way before I continue with that. I know it's going to be people that are actually bigots and racists that's going to try to take what I say and try to use it to hide behind their evil activities. But understand, I don't even mean it in that. I don't put that energy into it, because it's not that. But even though I know people are going to try to use it for the wrong purposes. But it's people that, when you look at the foundation of love and hate, what are the two emotions that have to happen, or what are the two actions that have to happen before you love or hate somebody? What do you have to do? Before I love you, I have to do what? I have to accept you. Before I hate you, I have to do what? I reject you. And looking at it like that, it's things in this world that we're loving that we are not supposed to love. That goes for lifestyles, foods, certain things, you know what I'm saying, whether we know it or not. Of course, certain things we do know, like certain foods are poisonous to us. Some of us have allergic reactions. We know that's a rejection. Your body's rejecting the damn food. You know what I mean? Or even whatever. And it's certain lifestyles that are destructive to us that we shouldn't be adopting, whether it be drugs, even homosexuality. Look, I know it's a sensitive subject, but understand what I mean. Two men, at the end of the day, we were put on this earth to reproduce organically and naturally. We already, because if it was meant for us to be anything else, we would be that majority. Somewhere along the line, somebody got turned out. And when that happened, you know what I'm saying, other people got turned out. And it snowballed into what the fuck we got today. And again, certain people have certain amount of fight in them, some people don't. Some people can resist that bullshit, some people just don't have it in them, some people do. You know what I mean? So I get it. But I also understand that it's a mental disability more so than anything else. And they don't want to call it that. So they just, instead of dealing with it like a mental disability, which it actually is, they just say they're born that way and just tell people to shut up. Because two men can't come together and make a child. Two women can't come together and make a child. That's the formula to keep life going. So when you know that that's the formula to keep life going, again, organically and naturally, not all this bullshit where they try to bring doctors in to try to recreate bullshit to make people more comfortable to live their lie. Like they, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're a grown ass man. Everything about you down to your chromosomes says that you're a man. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much of a woman you want to be. And on top of this, why is it that gay men and gay women always dress up like exaggerated, spoiled teenagers that just found out that what it meant to be cool? Like, that's one I never understood. Every stud that I've ever come across in my lifetime, in my 32 years of living, like, how come y'all don't ever dress up as like a proper man? You know what I'm saying? Like, how come y'all, like, why is the motif of y'all dressing up to try to announce